Nobody who really loves you will ever turn their back on you because of lies, rumors, and gossip. But the truth is there are people turning their backs on you. So what does this tell you right off the bat? Well, they never loved you. But I want to give you a different perspective now to look at a smear campaign. What does it really mean? I want you to look at a smear campaign now as a necessary shedding in your life, a necessary pruning in your life. In this way, a smear campaign is actually working in your favor to make you better. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it, I want to let you know that I'm here for your support. Down in the description box, you'll find access to my calendar for one-on-one appointments, telephone calls, FaceTime, WhatsApp video calls. It's all available for you. So head on down there after this message, and I look forward to talking with you. Now, let me help you by understanding this. We go through expansive growth spurts in our life, do we not? We grow in our energy, we grow in our connections with other people, we grow in our ambitions. All of this kind of works together. We just expand, and we start to take up multiple roads in this life, in this expansive phase. But there's a problem in all of this. As we expand in our connections and in our relationships and all over the place, we start to get our branches, if you imagine yourself as a tree, start to get our branches weighed down with all kinds of stuff, right? Some things are very fruitful, some things are not so fruitful, but because we're so expansive in life, we don't really see the difference. And that's the problem. It's easy when we hit these expansive moments in our life to really forget who we are at our core. And that's what leads us into toxic relationships, by the way. Let me give you an example out of my own life. I hit this phase of expansiveness in my own life where I was a worship leader at church. This was a decade ago. Worship leader at church and on the counseling team, and I would do that. And then I was partying with in-laws who don't go to church at all, but who like to drink and party and fight and this and that. What does one have to do with the other? Absolutely nothing, except my branches in life were outstretched in all these different directions, and I thought that I can exist in this place with my branches all crazy and out all over the place. Well, what happens with a tree when branches just keep extending out? They're just going to start to die, right? And that's what was happening in my own life. There was suffering on all the ends until something had to come in and say, Kevin, you've got to stop. You can't be outstretched in all these areas in life. And boom, just had to cut my branches off. And this was the smear campaign. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Because you cannot be so expansive and try to grow fruit in all these areas. You have to first get down to who you are. It's easy to lose sight of who you are. And this is how we get in toxic relationships, by the way. It's the same understanding. It's the same principle of staying in your lane, right? You can't be driving down a road all over the lanes. You're going to crash. Oftentimes, narcissistic people are people you never belonged with. It's groups of people that, and maybe you've been hanging out with them for a long time, but inevitably they show themselves to not have any fruit. They're not fruitful parts of your life, but you don't know it because you're just in an expansive state. All right. So I want you to see the smear campaign as a necessary pruning. It's a necessary shedding. So it's not that people who ever loved you are being cut away. It's the pruning away of people who don't care about you, of people who are not going to be fruitful in your life, places and people and things that you don't belong with, that don't belong in your life. There's a scripture in the New Testament of the Bible, one of the final messages that Jesus gave before he went to the cross was the Lord is going to prune and cut away the dead branches. It's one of the final things that he said. And there's something in that for you and for me. We get to this place in life where we need to have, sometimes unfortunately by force, if we lose our sight, if we lose our way, if we lose our path, we need something else to cut away the dead branches. And oftentimes it comes in the form of a smear campaign. All right? I'm here for your support. down in the description box below this message, you'll find access to my calendar for one-on-one appointments, FaceTime, WhatsApp, video calls. It's all available for you. So head on down there, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We.